Hello, de confa. I
No,
find YouTube.
no.
Oh, hello, Joseph. Kuira mo kuchita editation.
No, Cook. Patricia Wilson. Patricia. Wilson.
Win or Shan?
Gana wino. Oh, come back.
Teachers, is it not time up? What are we waiting for?
Yeah, so okay, now we can start. Then our Shalaba, they will be joining. Welcome, Chapman. So, to our paper, then we push the proceed na studies from report watch period. To our paper. Revoke to tera nobody some kataka shukweli ile wapea contention ya uwezo wakulete paskiro ulifo watabale ilifanya ashte tu ailo kula tasha kulumba aweze shuko shwa kataka mwenyewe Yesu napambila shonso shwa patu kusamilisha nashinde kulomba wanfu kino twala twaila mu sambili wapakati keso nakufuafua ukuturuka yo info kunda wapakati keso kafena wakala ura mukristo atasha amen. So twala konkanya pona study upo tukachiperera yeah so so uh, through these studies yama vespers more to some political spectrums where we have the right wing and the left wing. Uh, it has helped us to really understand a lot especially now we understand certain things. Like in the morning, Naspera, for example, like we had the long understanding of who is God and also the nature of his kingdom. Yeah. But sari kuangkanya hapo, kukula shedding more light, giving more light so that we truly understand of wabo nefunika ufili wabo. So that in case twalimu mweru katuwakawe supplies kingdom ya kwalese yofo ya wakanya. Yeah, so na chini yofo ya tuwako chakwe ama study yofo ya tuwako is that before 2018, yeah, like the understanding which we have concerning before having this understanding, our focus of our studies which we used to have back then before even we joined the movement and after we joined the movement, we were spending much of the time to discuss about the Protestants. And we have one more reasons why we could do focus on the Protestant, understanding how they are working. Yeah. Yeah. So that was like our daily break, our daily discussion concerning the Protestant. Yeah. And the reason we were learning about them and we paid much of attention is because we once understood that when we talk of the Sunday law which we understood before, I would say before 2018, we say the people who are going to pray the law of enforcing the Sunday law, which we understand that Sunday Sabbath, it is a Protestant. Yeah, therefore, because of that, we could study and observe their movements. Yeah, and observe their movement. Yeah, so like I said, we are studying them because we are the fear that they are the one who are going to bring about the Sunday law. Not only the Sunday law, also we were learning about them in order to understand how they impact, especially the Protestant, the Republican Party, because we do understand that that's the understanding which we had that if you talk of the Sunday law, it will be based on the church and state. When this union is formed, then the church will use the state to implement its agenda. That's what we have been learning. Yeah, and your understanding, we had that understanding, and we gotten that understanding, I would say, from the Great Controversy, Ellen White, or there is a book, the book which mostly I used to enjoy reading it. I can remember is 4 SPM. Yeah, something like that. Spagan and Shan Magan collection, which talks about the mother and the daughter. Yeah, Ellen White will go back to the history of 1260 and she will say, during the mother had her own time. Now, according na time, meaning their time, it's the daughter who are going to dance to the tune. Yeah. So it's from those books, those quotations, which we got our understanding of how a Sunday will look like and why we paid much of attention and studying more about the Protestant. Because we thought these Protestant, they are the one, they are the cause of the problems which are happening in the world or happening in the USA. Yeah, the cause. And we can point out when you go back to the starting from 1863 history going forward, even before, when you go back to the history of 1619, the time when America was starting. You will find the Protestant there, and they are very active. So by observing or studying the Mayorite history, we brought that understanding into our time and conclude that therefore they are the threat, they are the cause of all the problem. They are the cause of what is happening in the America. Yeah, because they have their agenda, and their agenda, they are using the government in order so that the government can implement their agenda. That's the understanding which we had, and that's why we were studying much of the Protestant. But through I would say, the collect methodology, yeah, and these studies, the Vespa studies which we are learning, we came to the understanding that no, when you talk of the Protestant, in fact, before we reach to that one, in 2019, when we look at the line of the 144, we had the increase of knowledge on how the nature of the Sunday. Yeah, and I believe we know how we reached to that conclusion that our Sunday law were not based on the Sunday Sabbath, but it will be based on the issues which are happening before the time of the end. And that concept, we adopted it from the Mayorite history. Yeah. So we understand that our Sunday law based on the, I would say, we could say by then gender, then in feminism, also we talk of homosexual. Yeah. So God brought that understanding. Then from that understanding, we started to see if the Protestants were to foster Sunday law, that means there are other groups who oppose those things. But if the problem is this, then you should see that the same issue which we addressed in 2019, they are affecting everyone. Zawadimu na Elizabeth Mwachwapa nafu ninakaisa zawadimu. Oh. Okay. We they share about that. Yeah. So like I was saying, through the collect methodology and through these studies, the Vespa studies, we came to the understanding that, in fact, the problem is not about it's not the Protestant who are the whole problem or the cause of all problem. And we only reach to that conclusion through reading many articles, yeah, also by understanding the nature of our test. Yeah, the nature of our test. Then, yeah. So we understand that if we talk of, if this is the line, we have the left wing this side and the right wing this side. You find that the problem is I would say, the entire right wing. But when you talk of the Protestant, they are or Christianity or Dominionism, of which where we can even put the Seventh Day. They are just, I would say, they are here. Yeah, we say Protestant. Or we say go, so these people, we can just find them very quick. That means, and the understanding which they have on the, yeah, which means the problem, if you say the problem is the Protestant, how about the people who are on the far right? Where are you going to put them? So those are the dilemma we could find ourselves in. But through the studies, we came to the understanding that, in fact, why God tatfunishe maybe atifunya kunga far right atuleta kwa mupepi, but God decided to move us from this side to the other side. It's because the entire political spectrum it is in a mess. Yeah, it have a problem. Yeah. So, and that's what we will be looking at. So, so in the last presentation which we had, this, yeah. So, I'll make a reference to the article, a certain article of which it is in previous studies. Yeah. So, because yeah, it's too long, to read it. I'll just pick some points which we even discussed last Sabbath. Yeah. So, like in those articles, the first one we looked at the sorry. Yeah, we were joiner, but at we are just in the points which we discussed last week. Like I said, the start of today's, like you can see the title is talking about their theism and their new crusade. It's just the addition of information of the study which we had previous. So most of the points I'll be quoting from that same study. So I'm assuming that everyone attended, and if you haven't, meaning either by ourselves, we have watched that presentation. So I'm saying to those who have just joined, I'm saying, according to the understanding which we had before the midnight cry message started, we focused much on the Protestant thinking, and we believe that they are the one who are going to bring up about the Sunday law. And I even went further, to discuss, like, where did we get those thoughts or understanding? And I said it's from the great controversy, which I can say from Ellen White, from SPM, where she spoke about the mother and the daughter. Yeah, then she will say the mother is a time period. Then now is the daughter. So we understand that therefore the whole problem with the Protestant. Yeah, now through these studies, through the correct methodology, God makes us to understand that no, if you look on the perspective of spectrum, you find that the problem is not just the Christianity, no, but the entire right wing is the problem. So in the previous article, which we mentioned, the Vox article, we discussed about the other groups apart the Protestant who are the problem and what they believe in. And we discussed about the Trinity. I believe we remember something like that. The far right Trinity or the the right wing trinity. Albert, that's about walisema tena sasa. No, okay. So you haven't heard anything concerning the trinity of the right wing. Okay. So in the Vox Act brought something in order to establish our understanding that the problem is not all with Protestantism, but the entire right wing. So God wanted us first to understand this side before we came to the understanding of this, so that we may know why God wanted us to move from this side to the other side. Although during that time it wasn't easy. Yeah, it wasn't easy. So I'm quoting from Voxat 4, and it brought something like the Trinity. Yeah, the light of that article mentioned something to do with Trinity, which is also a big problem when we talk of on the far right. And I'm asking, does anyone remember what we discussed concerning the Trinity, or what was the Trinity all about? Yes, Susan.
Guys, Soleranda.
Okay, guys.
twalisambirapo kukutira ni pali Trinity te the far right Trinity twasambirire uko bati natukwata amabumba nomba twabulirepo ya tatu ayalipanga Trinity apali men's rights activist ya kwata libertarian iyo twakwata na atheism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eryo twaleresha mu lubali lwa gender kaina tumona okwe bati test ya inonkulo each trace center pali gender or the other name for gender or equality or feminism. So kuloresha kuri uru lubali twalyeshesha okumona okutira aya mabumba yonse ukwisafika fye na kuri atheism ko twaloreshe pali the four horsemen na bino kuloresha kuri gender they are anti-feminist. Eryo bamona okwe bati women are irrational. Yeah.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Thank you. Shirefwaya Paulia sana. I'll ask another question.
Okay.
All I wanted is to state like what is composing the right identity.
Sorry, teacher.
No problem. Albert, So I believe we reconquer where we are coming from. Yeah. So I was saying the understanding which we had before the midnight cloud is that where we have to focus our attention and yeah, is to understand the movement Protestants they are making because it's the cause of all the problem. Yeah, and they are the roots. Now, through the studies, we learned that, in fact, God why He moves us from this side to the other side is because the entire system, yeah, it is bad. Yeah, it is bad. So now, through the articles which we have been learning through previous studies, I wish I won't go through it, but I'll go some of them. That article discuss about that there is a trinity on this side, which we can see equity as a big issue, which is affecting the the entire right wing. And that trinity we discuss about it was men's right, then atheism, then libertarianism. So yeah, that's what we read. Yeah. So now that is just one article. I want to read another article. I believe last week the gathering. That's why I want to go through it, which sheds more light about the understanding which we have established. Like the problem is not the Protestant, but the entire right wing. The Christians is just a small group of people which cannot even affect or impact the world. So there is this article which I want to read. Then oh. So there is a document which eyompanyire kumonsireko mpawo some American articles based in this study. So I think if I can first we can communicate then kuna tuna. So so he is an interview which was between two women. Yeah. And those women, they belong in this movement. They are atheists. So now there is a discussion which they have, yeah, concerning the issue to do with the sexism, yeah, the sexism and the misogyny. So that's the quote which I want to read. And also that this article highlighted on the point to see that in fact the problem is not the Protestant, it has to do with other groups. Yeah. So so there were two women. Our age, one was interviewing the other. So you have the person who is interviewing the other person was Sarah and yeah, like I said, she is an atheist. Then she was interviewing another woman who is an atheist too. So say interview. So you have Sarah and interviewing Alex. Nani so interviewing Alex DeBranco. Yeah. So the interview. Okay. I'm thinking of to give detail about this person, but anyway, let me try to summarize about her. So when we talk of Alex, she's an atheist, like I said. Yeah, and maybe those who have phones, if they want, they can search how they titled this non-gun interview. It is called exposing and challenging males supremacism. So that was a part-based discussion now concerning Punish. Yeah, so there is this woman, other woman situation. Now I just want to take one of the emotion. Or let me just skip. Let me go direct to the interview. So it's this one, Sarah, who was asking Alex concerning the concerning issue to do with male supremacy. So the interview goes like this. Sarah Henry says she's asking this one. Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself. So this one is asking the other one. Remember they belong in the same movement. So and the things. So this one I've been studying about the men's supremacy. Yeah, so now this one wanted to find more about how she understands what it is to do with male supremacy and where she can place the Christianity. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What did in your background inspired you to found the institution for research on male supremacy? So this woman is the one who founded the 59 year affirmative. That's what. Yeah, So what she does, this woman, is that she has opened an institution, and that institution, they study about male supremacy, yeah, or supremacism. So this one asks you, this one, chinchi chakuinspire ukuba tiwambe kusamira study concerning on male supremacy. Then Alex answered, well, my original research for my original research focused on the Christian right. So that uyo lwambuye okustudy focus yako yali about the Christian right. And through the study, when I come back to this Trinity, we will learn why she focuses on Christianity. Yeah, to allow something. So she said she focuses much on the Christian right and the anti-abortion movement. Then I continue. She continued. I also worked as an activist on sexual violence issues. So I believe to today for a position over this time interview. Yeah. So number one, she has been studying on the Christian right. 2, and abortion movement. Then and that I also worked as an activist on sexual violence issues. And starting in the early 2010, I was watching men's right activists. So around that Ukamba 2018, Ukamba 2010, now she's shifted her attention, or she also started to look at men's rights or men's activists. Men's rights activists. So she started looking at MARS. Yeah, then she will give an example like for Aram and their victim blaming rhetoric. So she even cited an example among the people she has been observing. The men's rights movement. Also, she has been observing men like Paul Iram. I'll try to read a quote on this person, Paul Iram, after I finish this one. Yeah. And their victim blaming rhetoric. Over time, I became more concerned with the growth of secular misogynist movement. So now, as time goes on, I saw more concerning the growth of secular misogynist movements. Yeah, meaning there are groups which believes in misogynist, who believe in male supremacy. So as those groups, they were realizing it was not just one movement. This is just one among those. Yeah, there are even others. Yeah. So she has been observing, then it triggered her mind to start searching more about it, those movements. Yeah, then so over time I became more concerned with the growth of secular misogynist movement. Then the interviewer asked her, Sarah N. says, it seems to me that more often than not, religious dominionism, white nationalism, and male supremacy are intricately intertwined. Then, yeah, are intricately intertwined. Is that something you find in your work? So bamwipshelele okay inokulingana na observation yaka uyelele ngala lesha alesa mfumo noko wati Christianity or we call dominionism, it is something which is what can I say? It is something if ya ikatana sana with white nationalism and the male supremacy. Yes. So Sarah, I learned that mkumona kwako each. I will say Christian. Let me say Christianity. Christian. Yeah. Is it? That's according to our observation. Is intertwined with white supremacy. Also, with the male supremacy. So, I'm assuming as I'm reading, we understand what it means when you say white supremacy. Yeah. And the male supremacy, male dominance. Yeah. Yeah. So that's according to our observation. Then she will respond. Alex answers, I would actually have to say that contemporary white supremacy and the male supremacist community demonstrate of more of what I termed secular misogyny. Yeah, which includes what appears to me an over presentation of atheists with regards to their small percentage of the populations. So around according to me, I don't think so. Or if it is so, maybe not that it's so it's go hand in hand. But I will say if they start demonstrating more of what she terms a secular misogyny, it's one white supremacy. So we have white supremacy. Let me write it here. Then you have you have male supremacy. So if plus 4 in conjunction with a small group, but you group I'm using my own word. It's like vocal in those areas. Yeah. And that group is atheism. Atheist. Yeah. So when you look at these things, they are the things, if there's some panga, what she's telling secular, misogyny. So, okay. So, before I read the second quote, uh, yeah. Does anyone have thought or comment concerning what we have gone through this article together? Hmm? Hmm? Then that before should I bring another quotation? I mean another quote. Could you go with any thought concerning body this uh interview twapitamu between Sarah and Alex? Does anyone have thought on this one? What we have discussed so far? And looking at where we started looking at this, the Protestant or Christianity is not the entire problem. It's not the whole problem like we used to understand before. Okay. So yeah, you are welcome. Yeah, when I built, you are welcome. Yeah. So as we were leading through this interview between Sarah and Alex, she mentioned a certain person who wonderful kuverenga is ideology. Yeah, concerning what is stemming secular misogyny. Okay. So that's that. So when you talk of Paul Iram, the one she cited as an example, among the groups she was observing who were growing, in support of misogyny. She cited one person like Paul. I want to read a little bit about him. For him. So when you talk of Paul Hiram, he is the founder of what is calling the International Conference on Men's Issue. And is the same person who made a publication which says a voice of men, a voice for men. So that's what I'm reading. That's the title, Voice for Men. The one who made that publication. So when you talk of the voice for men, focus yako is to talk about insamusha the light of men. So looking where I can read. When there are some quotes, I'll just send them maybe links. Then Naena is an atheist. So I believe we know why I've gone to these courses which I'm reading now. Is to see the point which we said at the beginning that the problem is not about the Protestant or the Christian. That's the reason why this has to move us from the right wing to the left wing. No. But the problem is the entire right wing, and specifically we looked at the men's right, this trinity, the men's right, atheism, then libertarianism. So this quotation I'm reading, they are just pointing us to these, to see that these are the problem which are pushing for secular misogyny. So let me see if I can read it. So even this one is an atheist. So these are the people who are within atheism, but I've not reached to talk about atheism. I'm just reading their thoughts concerning to prove that a problem is the entire right in which we need to understand. So he's saying, I've often wondered if my state of mind as an atheist has also played a role in becoming a men's right activist. Really? Yeah, so that is poem which she has been observing. He's saying, I have often wondered if my state of mind as an atheist has played a role in becoming a men's rights activist. Yeah. I like to think I view things objectively. That I really only a variable science rather than faith or folklore to shape my beliefs. So he's saying, he's wondering about mind ya goya kwata. I'm still accept, but I'm not doing so in Ariana, and I'm not for to so if I focus on something, it doesn't need somebody to tell him that you should believe in this. Yeah, but it just he establishes belief based on the science. Then that attitude has certainly helped me to understand issues like domestic violence and alleged wage gaps as such as it as evolution. So he believes in evolution. So he's saying it's science which helps him to understand the issue to do gender-based violence. You don't need God, in short, in other words, but you just need science in order to understand those things. Then Allah continue. Want to jump. Okay. Anyway, let me just summarize. So he's saying, in order to believe in things or how he's going to judge things, it does not need faith. Yeah. So those are the same evidence and the reasons in order to attack if you talk of feminism, he uses that mindset. So when you follow about this person, you will find that it's someone who also believes in male supremacy, but how is he going to defend that? Other than that, to understand certain thing, you don't need God, like, or a faith. Like some women, in order to take a step, they will need someone to direct them. Yeah, but as we depend on science, yeah. So that's about the Paul Iram and the and this interview which we have gone through. So I believe we are moving together. If you are behind, you are free to tell me that, oh, they am behind. Yeah, they am behind. Those are who lot of things to talk about. So, like I said in the morning, if you want to talk, you are free to talk. You can just unmute, then you speak. Yeah. Then even me, I'll be allowing people to comment where necessary, but I'm avoiding uh, to allow you to come in by myself because of I have a lot of material which I need to cover. Yeah. So from the Vox article, which almost was saying this student and this interview from between Sarah, and then we gather this information. And if you were to trace where they belong, these groups, these movements, where they belong on the political spectrum, we find that they are on the right wing. So you could see that the problem or our understanding should shift from just only observing the steps and the movement, the protesters they are making, but also to start looking at or understanding this trinity. Yeah, there are even other movements which we need also to consider, learn about them. Like one of them we have there is a white supremacy, but in the context of the study which we are looking in, my focus will be based on this trinity. Yeah, this trinity. Because it's important to understand what they believe in. Yeah, we know that these people, they are on the same side, and between them, though they may seem to be different, there is something which enable them to come together despite their different belief. For example, when you talk of men's right, what is their focus? What finish for what the fight? Hmm? Yes. Yeah, namumfansa Joseph apera.
Na question ta chumfika bwino tatumfwire.
Okay. So I was saying, as we are learning about Trinity, men's right, atheism, libertarianism, yeah, it is important to understand each of the movement. You understand men's rights, what do they believe in? Should understand atheism, what do they believe in? Guys has alluded saying we are studying this in the context of gender. Yeah. Then libertarianism, what do they believe in? So then I pose the question, we have been learning about men's rights, atheism, libertarianism. Then I say there are even other groups which we need to consider or to engage twice, like the Oath Keepers, you have the Google movements, all those groups, we should know them. Yeah, what for why meaning up. But if you were to take them on the political spectrum, you find them on this side, which is the right wing. Yeah, then the question was, what if your men's right by meanable, what do they fight for? Or change wisha? Yeah, that was the question. For Susan. Susan.
Fyamfwika.
Then you'll ask a Chan.
Nina mfo ni freedom yoba fwaya yoba folk achieve sana. Total freedom.
Okay. So they want freedom. Okay. What of libertarianism? Okay, I know that they want freedom, but what is their like change also what's the target as, as their threat to them, the men's right. Kwa mfano they are fighting for freedom, yes, but change also wamana as a problem to them. Okay, what is the reason of their existence? I don't know. Yes, unasema nasungusha admit. Bajalan esanya kali join. Depend na network. Susan, one for now, what was the question? I'm still telling
iyo warekesha last uko bati threat yabo ai
Achani.
ureipsha tinomba threat yabo.
Yes, I use that word so that maybe it could be easy for you to understand what I'm trying to ask. So what is your answer then?
Netimameshe threat yabo number one religious tabaifwaya ero
You are right, but
wanankani tabafwa
you are right, but that's not the answer.
eh.
You are right. You may be right, but that's not the the answer I'm looking for. So men's right,
Oh.
they fight feminism. They fight women. Have you heard?
Yes.
Yes. So they fight women. They fight feminism. Yeah. Then we'll try to elaborate more on that point. But we are just like summarizing what they consider to be a problem to them. Yeah, and yes, as they are fighting for men, for women's, they have uh uh their agenda. They are thinking if that and that happens to women, then they'll end up not having their right or freedom. Yeah. Yes. So then what of atheism? According to the previous study which we had, what do they fight? We learned last time that the reason for their existence and what triggers them to what triggers to have a modern atheism. Okay. So we will look into that. So we should take time to go through each of these movements, and we have been learning about these groups. Yeah, men's right. What do they fight for? Yeah, finish off our against Nafiena. Atheism. We learned last week the reason for their existence. What is their crusade by now? We should be able to know that. Hapana ipita hapana ipita hapagaidi. ishta naenda kukunta ishtena wala. Yeah. So I'm just encouraging each one of us that let's not just learn from here that there is a Trinity in the far right, and what is connecting them is freedom. Yeah, all those, yeah, it's important, but we should go further and study more about this movement, atheism, and the libertarianism. Like I said, there are even other groups. Yeah, like I've mentioned, the Oath Keepers, the Voodoo movement, 1%, 1%. Yeah, the white supremacists. Now, those groups we need to study them and understand what they giving. So if these things I'm discussing here, I'm just quoting them. We learned this on the last time studies. The only thing which is this interview between these two people, where she's commenting that when you look at the people who are forming this secular misogyny, I believe we understand what we mean when we say misogyny. I wanted to ask at first, then I forgot. So maybe anyway, I'll ask later. So start thinking about that. So she highlighted the point, it's not really about the Christianity which are so involved in issues to do with the rise of male supremacy and white supremacy. But instead, you have men's rights movement, you have atheist or atheism. These are the groups which are involved. And from there, from these two articles, we can see that for sure this is the reason why we started seeing things on a broader level, not just to focus much on the Protestant only, but also just to consider the entire right wing, the far right. Yeah. So yeah. So when you talk of USA, you find that all these things which we are learning here, you find them in USA. Yes, when you come here, you see them, but again, it will be difficult because here you find the issue of the traditions and cultures. But when you see there, it will be easy to identify and what they are trying to achieve, this movement. So when you talk of USA, which is a lamblight, these are the things which AOED surrounded in a field. Yeah. AOED surrounded in a field. Yeah. Which are putting pressure on the sixth kingdom, which is a lamblight. Yeah. And because of the increase of number of these movement, they are contributing to lead to the fall of the sixth kingdom and give power or open the lodge to the rise of the seventh kingdom. You find that the people who are supporting the sixth kingdom, they are few, but when talk of the seventh, where there is total freedom, like we learned in the morning that there is a good side and a bad side, and always people have to choose which side they want to belong to. You find that a lamb like kingdom is being surrounded with a lot of people who are against its fundamental principles, which we learned last week. Eating Ayawana Glorious Land. I believe we are able to remember those points. They are very important. Yeah, they are very important. Yeah. So in that same article, box article, where we learned about the Trinity of the far right or far right Trinity or right wing Trinity, you will find it will talk about even another this a young boy, yeah, who is Max. Yeah, he belongs in this movement, the men's right, but therefore the men's right, he prefer to be good and an atheist. Yeah, yeah. So we'll look at Marx and see his understanding, like his youth now, how he understands things. You find that it's something which later, if many youth believed in those things, it will affect the community. Yeah. So did we discuss about the Marx last week? Last Sabbath? It is way back. Okay. Before they come. Okay, so I will see if we can remember. So what did we discuss concerning Marx? His position on the issue regarding to women's, like I said, men's right, their focus, their threats is women. So now I just want to cite example looking at the belief Marx but then we'll see what these people how they understand, let's say, the issue of freedom and equality when it relates to women. Who can remember what we discussed about the Marx? So Regina wants to try here.
What we learned about Marx, actually, that is what really is Roman to begin with. So there's this woman, due to Gamergate, if you remember that incident, the harassment with her, so she decided to be brave and approach one of these men who she named Marx, spend some time with him. This man is in the men's rights movement, he's an atheist, he's also a libertarian. So he's in all the three things there. Not Kumanamurian. So like when you talk about position, his position, like he believe
I believe we are getting what Regina is saying. Mureo Mpwaka?
Oui.
that's scared.
Umupere Mike.
Like,
Okay, apa na mina.
there and that too. Max ever class and be a party maxi. Ever class and be a party maxi. Max is that's not his real name to begin with. These are like there's that woman I've forgotten what they faced the incidents of Gamergate. After that incident, she decided to visit one of these men who she named Max in a thorough interview. To spend time with this person. This person happened to be in the men's rights movement. He's also an atheist, also a libertarian. So 3 in 1, all those things. He's in all those camps. And what he believes in, it's just the idea. The libertarians, they want freedom. They believe that has been deprived too much because of what? Because of this fight for equality. And then when we talk about the men's rights, they are fighting against what? It's feminism. Yeah, I'll just put it like that. And new atheism as well, or atheism, this they are fighting about religion. They don't believe, they believe religion has left people to become, people don't use their minds to think. They just have got this belief system where it is just imposed on them. They don't use their mind to reason. They're irrational. So this is why you find where they would compare a woman and religion, they are the same. Women are irrational, religion the same. Yes. I think that is all things.
Okay.
Mm. It's okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's information about the Marx. Yeah. All these three movements, all these three trains we are discussing exist in him. You find that I prefer to be called a humanist, which means a rational atheist. So Regina mentioned about libertarianism, and it's in this term where you find even connected to in the group of atheism. So I want to talk about his ideology about the concept which we are learning about, which is freedom and equality. Yeah, this Marx believes in freedom. Also, at the same time, he believes in equality. And he think, or his idea is that uh, women, what they only need is what? So if these are women, they need what? Freedom. And if they need freedom, and that through that we have no what? Alalande vere. If women claims freedom, and that we have no problem with that. And that I think these things, so-called freedom, this has been given to women already. Then you go back to the histories, back I'll say where we learn about the civil rights movement. Yeah, second wave feminism. Yeah, then there you find Avalanda Maxevere. When you talk of during that time period, you find that a victory to women, Yarisaba won. Because when you talk of freedom is to do with voting, it was given to them, and we have no what? No problem with that. Yeah, because they are able to vote, they have that freedom. Yeah, when you talk of issue to do with getting jobs, that freedom has been given. They have that freedom to get job, and yeah, they are getting jobs. Then, when you talk of issue to work in the force, which is in our police or soldiers like that, they have that freedom. No one can deny them that freedom to work as work as a force. They have that freedom, and that freedom was given to them, and all those things are victory, and we have no problem. And whose mindset is that? It's the libertarianism, who believe in total freedom. So these people whom we are discussing, they say, okay, women can have what? Freedom. And they'll point out that, oh, yes, we believe in freedom. Yeah. Then you talk about voting, then you talk about work, then you talk of abortion, all those freedoms, they are enjoying that freedom. They can abort if they want. Yeah, yeah. Then if when you talk of the gay marriage, if they want to marry, it's their freedom, they can marry. But one thing these people or is afraid of is when women says what we want is not what? Freedom. Freedom is not enough for us. All we want is equality. Then there will be what? A problem. When you go what to require equality. Then I'm like, if you want equality, then why is so hard for them not to let women have equality? It's because they know that immediately women they have uh equality. If you are start to men's is that they will tend to lose somewhat their freedom. While lose freedom, and that's what they fear. Yeah. Echo wachini. Yeah. So freedom they can give them. They can say, yeah, you have freedom, you can do whatever you want. But when it comes to equality, they will say, no, when it comes to that issue, if women are given equality, who are going to be oppressed? It's men. And the men they are the one who will be the victim. Yeah, they will be the victim. They are the oppressed one. And for that, they will have that fear that even our freedom will be taken away. So in order to avoid that, this is where when we are learning about the ethos of the right wing, we see that they prioritize freedom over equality. It's because they fear that immediately equality is given to women, they are going to lose their freedom. There is that fear that they are losing something, and there is a belief that they will be oppressed if it reaches into that area. And we can take this example, this belief into many studies, or we can brought many examples where we see these things have been experienced where there is freedom. People they fear to share or to give equality. Yeah. Yeah, I can give example like yeah, one in the movement, this has happened. And yeah, it happens when if to do with the equality message, yeah, and it impacted the many. And I know it was so hard, such that some of the people, because of we are fighting for uh because of the selfish mindset or selfishness which we have, some they even left the movement because of that issue. Yeah, because whenever that happens, men feels like to be the one who are being oppressed. So that's just an example looking at in the movement. Then the other example we can give is when you go back to even if when we talk of the white supremacists, yeah, the white supremacists, not even them, they think if they can allow the immigrants to be staying in USA because of equality, then it will be a problem to them. Then they will try to find a way on how they're going to prevent those people not to occupy their space, not to be near them. Yeah, because they will say, if these people wise up on it will end up, they will start persecuting us. So before they persecute us, better we persecute them first. Yeah. So that's what's behind why on the right wing freedom is more exalted than equality, because men are selfish. just like during the Millerite history, the history of slavery, you will find that the people who were oppressed by that time is the slaves. Yeah, the slave people, the slaves. But the southern will say, no, us we are being oppressed because our freedom is not given to us. What we want, they are not giving us. As we want slaves. Now, this government of the North, they want what? They want equality. And to them, that is a threat. Yeah. Same mindset of having fear when you relinquish something. You can see it even in Protestants. Yeah. Yeah, in Protestant. Where we were learning, if I can remember last time, there is a document which we were learning concerning the yeah. The time we were learning about the Protestantism, back then, those studies, 1863, we see that the Protestant believes that America is a Christian nation. And the only people supposed to be there, they are the Christians. And they will define how that Christianity look like. Yeah. Then within the same place, they will perceive that there are even other religion, which if they grow, they will tend to start oppressing us. So instead, they said, okay, in order to avoid this to happen, we are going to make a constitution demand. The reason they are doing that is because they just want to enjoy their total freedom alone. No issue to do with equality, because immediately they say, okay, these churches, they are free to worship, the immigrant, the Catholics. Uh, yeah, the Catholics, then they will say, these are threats. They are coming to oppress us. But in the real life, in the real sense, it's the same people whom they are saying they're the one who are oppressing them, who are being oppressed. Yeah, who are being oppressed. Yeah, so that's what we can learn from this mindset. So so yeah, we can see that these movements, the men's right, this trend in short, like I said, though they may differ, but they all the same. Yeah, because there is a pipeline which is connecting them. Like we have demonstrated here their belief and why they fear to allow to why they fear to put equality on top, but instead uh uh freedom. Yeah. So So yeah, because of the time, I'll just go back to discuss about one point. Like I said, we need to go through men's rights movement, libertarianism, and we have been looking at them. Then atheism. Like last week, we started looking at atheism. Yeah, and we said it started in Patricia. According to the discussion which we have on atheism, so Nagulapo movement, which is atheism, when we discuss or just a quick review on that movement, and that's where we will end. So, yeah. Mwaweni. Yeah. So, yeah. So, awe nokwesha waisha apa waingia chamwa. Yeah. So, I was saying, I'll go back to we just discussed a little bit or review what we learned last time concerning the new atheism. So, we discussed a lot about them, and that's what I want to do at the close of this study. So that now we look at, in fact, we have already established what is their new crusade, this new atheism. So just go back there, then just repeat my points because she are under the casual. Yeah. So, in last week's study, we were looking at atheism. So we should go back to libertarianism, men's right, even others. We also looked about, we look on those movements. So atheism, we learned it yesterday, last Sabbath. And according to what we learned that it started when should I ask?
When is wrong?
I'm saying should I ask? So I'm looking at the window. Patricia, when did new atheism started? Susan, seems Patricia. According to what we discussed. Yeah, according to what according to what we discussed on atheism last week, when did modern atheism started?
Yani like msonjiro wanu futhi walesambili ngatezo katwishi 10-01 mwe.
Okay. Yes. Started in 2021 as a response to what?
Yani linanka ni response pa ili attack ya tike pa 9/11 yani mu USA.
Okay. Yeah. So it was a response due to the attack which happened on 9/11, and they said what causes that attack is this religion, this entity which believes in something, which believes in something. Yeah, it's the one which causes that attack. So from there, that's where we see like yambo monotheism, and it is blaming the religion. Yeah, the religion. It could be the Christianity, Muslim, what? It is blaming those religion. When you see 9/11, therefore, we can say everything which happens on the world, or the problem which we are facing, what is the cause? It's uh, the religion. These groups of people who believe in something, who are being controlled by I'll say the faith, who understand things, not using by critical thinking, but yeah, but yeah, not yes,
They don't think, they use emotions.
yes, yeah. So yeah. So they said the cause of the problems which we go through in the world is these people who have faith in something, who don't use, who don't think critically, who are not rational, but instead they believe in something, and that something directs them how they should think, how they should react to certain things. They are the cause of all the problems we are going through. So we learned how they started to organize themselves, whereby in 2006 they published a book. Yeah, then we looked at in 2007 how they came up and meet. Yeah, and meet. And those people who meet in 2007, they called themselves as the four horsemen. There were four of them. And we discussed about the four horsemen. Who are those four horsemen? Who can remember? First, it was the time is not with us, and today the Amish. So Regina says we have. So when talk of new atheism and their crusade or their call, they are calling people to start thinking rational, to be rationally, and start seeing the problem in religion. Yeah, so and pointing that this is the threat which people they have to move away from it. Yeah, then we said we also discussed about the four horsemen, of which one of them was Sammy Harris. Yeah, Sammy Harris. That was the first one. And what did we discuss? Okay, let's mention them first. So the first wait. Oh my God. So okay. So we are talking about the four horsemen of new atheism. Then number one we have Sam Harris. Then number 2, at Richard. Then the third one, Christopher Ichi. Then the last one. So we also discussed about the Daniel.
And he and then another maybe
Okay. So these are the horsemen of the new atheism. These are the influential people who are leading this modern atheism. And if you want to learn about them, there are many perspectives in which we can learn about them. Like one of them, I've talked about like their focus, how they view religion, that they view religion as an entity which is bad and the cause of the problem. Then 2, we learned and looked at these 4 horsemen, this new atheism, how it responds when it comes to issues to do with gender, we say gender equality of feminism. And what did we learn about Sam Harris? What is his belief, or what is his ideology concerning gender equality and feminism? So then, anything concerning these 4 horsemen? Oh, then to those who have my smartphone, if you have time, you can go by internet. When you search, there is this article by Pew Torres, which says, where am I? How new atheism slide to far right. But I'll try to read that one when we finish discussing it. Then I'll read maybe the last word. Yes, Susan. What can you remember? Anything about these horsemen? You can choose anyone.
Ninda feel you are and at women bad relation, they don't think wabon fear my emotions, they are weak. Tanshanyu ko katushinga nyuine ngani Richard ngani nani katuishika Christopher. Shapalo ko zofine. Kuma no kwata bana kashiba relation. Wabon fear my emotion and they are not strong.
Okay. Thank you. Tapman, can you remember anything we discussed concerning these 4 horsemen? You can pick anyone. Otari. Okay. Patricia Valley. Okay. Patricia, are you there? Yeah. White.
Upon the teacher, and
Yes, we want you to assist on anyone with this or one Fukisheko, like his belief in relation to the context of gender.
At question in Shan.
Last week we discussed about these four horsemen, the prominent leader in the new atheism. Some of them they are still alive, others they have passed away. So now we discussed them like looking at there is a first quotation, first article in Ashberenga between the interviews between two this Alex and Sarah, where she said the things which are making this secular misogyny is male supremacy and new atheism. Yeah, she mentioned something like that. Now that means these guys, when it comes to issue to do with gender, they believe that men's always they are, I would say, on the good side. Yeah. Now we discussed idea palichira omwo na omwo. Sam Harris what his views when it comes to the context of gender, feminism, equality. Richard, Christopher, Daniel, we discussed them. So now the question is, among what we have discussed last week, because this is not something we are learning here right now, it's something we learned last week. What did you hear? Anything? Party, anyone? Who you want to say concerning his mindset toward gender equality? So Susan, Narandapo something like by Sam Harris, you have the interview which was conducted in 2014, interviewing Sam Harris. Yeah, like why in atheism there are a lot of male. Yeah, then he give a response. Then later you talk of the issue of according to what they believe in. When you talk of they believe in evolution, and there is other two concepts which we look at the end. Yeah, they will say male or men from uko kundendekero up to now. They think rational. They are rational, and that's why atheism is more attracted to them, because it needs some people who can think critical and oppose I'll say this religion. She says something like that, Alice, which I'm agreeing. Now I'm asking you, do you have anything to say? Like we often watch people discuss Pauli wants his belief concerning gender equality, but these guys are the four men of new atheism.
Very good.
Okay.
Comenzamos una oposición also say the opposite, like before pensamos en el final y también ya va a estar el final que se encuentra ahora me casi la week ahora me tengo
Esperemos pasar. Aló.
Okay.
I wrote it. I wrote it.
Okay. Okay, no question. You were commenting by Richard. So Sharon was commenting by the mindset yakwa Richard concerning atheism, and we gave some examples on how she responded to a certain lady who went to a certain place and have a discussion. Then after the discussion, she went to the bar. Yeah. Yeah. Then after there, she got drunk. Then she came back. Then she was in is it elevator? Yes, elevator. Then there is a certain man who was following her. Yeah. Then we find that later that woman posted something. Please, men, don't do that. Then we find that Richard will come with a response on attack on that woman concerning that scenario. So Sharon was trying to talk of the issue of like rational, that even him, he has the same mind that women, they are irrational, then men, they are rational. Shishibe, were you there last Sabbath, Jacob?
No, I was not. Are you getting me?
Yes. No.
I was not.
Okay. Okay. I'll come back to Richard. Anyone else? Okay. So, yeah, so I hope few things which I've mentioned, you are able to remember what Sam Harris believed in, or his position concerning the issue to do with equality. Then and I've talked about the Richard Daki, his mindset also toward the issue to do with the gender equality. Now he is going to comment on that woman who anatapera example. Yeah, who anatapera example. Also, now she got arrested respond on a woman which was raped by, is it Michael Sharma we discussed? Who raped a woman. There were 3 women who were discussing that this one is reached Aras. And one of them came and said, in fact, he even raped me because I was drunk. Then he took me to his room. Yeah. Then Richard Aras responded with, on that scenario, we have not to put a blame on men, because men, that's their nature. Yeah. The problem is you women, you know that you are attractive, then you know that you are attractive and muleya mkukolwa, you are drinking. It's meaning if someone rapes you, it is your responsibility. Yeah, it is your responsibility. So you can see that we learned that his mindset also, he is a sexist, and also he believes in misogyny. Then we try to learn further, saying, looking at their judgment which they are giving concerning to the certain issue, though they are claiming to be rational, in the real sense they are not even rational. They are not critical thinkers due to the response which they are giving to certain issues. So we looked at those areas. Then the Christopher Hitching. What did we discuss concerning Christopher? I will give a clue. Okay, we discussed concerning how he wrote an article, which is a 2007 article where he responded like why men are fun as compared to women. Yeah. Then that he chose Shabafin from who chatting make whereby women they are not fun, but men are fun. And the greatest job ya mom Pacharo is to ensure that they please women, but women can't please men through let me say physical activity. But instead they have only one thing which they can use in order to appreciate men, which is their bodies. I hope we can remember something like that. We discussed something like yes, Regine. Yeah, so that's what we discussed about Christopher. Not only that, we also discussed about yeah, I want that I don't know if we discussed or what. Like there was this like a meeting which was there in 2010 where during under Obama, where there is a certain comedian person who was there. She was a woman, and how she responded to her, it was negative. Yeah, it was negative, whereby she started by condemning the person herself. Yeah, that's Christopher. Condemning the person, also condemning her color, not only that, also condemning her gender. Yeah, not only that, she also condemned the comedy she was making, and yeah, I would say her sexual orientation, the way she appears. Yeah, he even condemned. Yeah, he condemned all those things about that woman who is Wanda Dave. Yeah, we can go and search more about uh, that scenario which happened in 2010, and the Christopher's response to that. Yeah, so these I'm giving are just inches. I'm not going in detail to give more about these horsemen. But why am I discussing about these guys? I want us to see that they are not only campaigning for a campaigning, or their campaign is not just against the religion, but they are also these people. They are also they are sexist. Yeah, that's why many women who are in this movement, atheism, they complain about the sexism which exists in that movement, which is modern atheism. They complain. Yeah, but instead, men they respond to be like they are the victim. Yeah. Then women, they are the one who are oppressing the men. So those are the reason why we went further to look at each one of them. Then there is a Daniel. I tried to search to find more about him, but I just find that I just managed to find his belief, not any example concerning his response, his response toward gender. But even him, he believes in one evolution, as a rational thinking. When he, I think I'll save that information. So, so his position, his focus is on studying the philosophy of mind and science, and also the evolution. Yeah, and according to the media where I was searching, they couldn't provide any information related to him. And now what is his stance concerning the issue to do with gender? So I have nothing to comment on him, but we should go further and study more about this person. So, so there is a reason why sexism still exists within atheism, of which that will be the last part or another venga. Then we'll close from there. Yeah. And there is a quote which I'm supposed to read. Let me see if I can read it. It's giving more information about the point which we were establishing, like when did atheism started. Yeah, if you want to search at one time, you can just go per Google and you say like how atheism slide to far right. Yeah. So I mean to men's right. Men's right, their stance is they oppose with women. So also as we have given example concerning this atheism, these horsemen of atheism, they also oppose atheism. So few more other than David, Edward joined a group. His mind was that Alasanga, a movement which is peace and comfort, and was expecting good thing to come out from this movement. But at the end, I saw that the same movement, it's the one which is even advocating for men's rights. It is advocating for freedom. Yeah. So I want to read that quote, then I read the last one, then that's where we end. So it's saying the title is few Taurus who wrote this Nanikan. I want to article which I want to read. Yeah, when you go there, it involves. Anyway, let me just read it. Then I'll be jumping something. Then I'll go to the area where I'm so interested. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, or if you want, you can search from enlightenment to dark ages. That's what you find on Google. So it's a quote by Humor. Taurus. Yeah, he's also an atheist. He has been in alliance with atheism. Then there's something which is going to comment. So I'm reading from online direct on Google saying the new atheism movement emerged shortly after the 9/11. So it just comment on it. So the quote is saying the new atheist movement emerged shortly after the 9/11 attacks with a best-selling book by Sam Harris called The End of Faith. So if you're for your time period your new atheism, then this was followed by Engagement, Tom's author, by Richard Dawkins. Then alarm books mention abantu before atheism. It started by 9/11 attack. Then summaries write a book, the end of faith. Then pasa konga by Richard. Richard naye alisalimba kwe book. Yes. Then Daniel Dennett and Rita Christopher Hitchens, among others. Then that overwhelming to champion the values of science and reason. That was their stance. And then they are saying the movement offered a growing number of unbelievers. Tired of faith based on foolishness, marking up society for the rest of us. So I believe we are all getting what is written in the quotation, this quote. Then to continue, some hope for the future. So some were expecting to see something good from there. For many years, I was among the new atheism movement greatest allies. That's few, stories. So, so I've read that part. So, so nakula this scholar then woman was then you talk of how this movement is started criticizing the religion. Then most notably you talk of Islam. Yes. Okay, there's part which I want to read, but the entire quote is so interesting. I want to read something related to how it moves from our point here in Minemo, which is to attack religion. Then it went. So there was even move to start supporting the men's right. That's the what I'm looking. Now, I will try that. So, with this party, then and along these lines, the new atheist movement has flirted with misogyny for years. Then you talk of Alice estrogen vibe statement, which yield a defense rather than a glorious apology, was only the tip of the iceberg, as mentioned above. So is talking about Aris because of the comment which we discussed, how he responded, why in atheism there are a lot of male than female. When so you talk of even Michael Shema, you find him in this book. Where I just mentioned him. Last time we looked at him. So in this publication, you will find out Mustafa mentioned. Anyway. So I will just try to summarize what is written below. So like we said, this Phil was an atheist, and he joined because he was expecting something good. But the later, as a Papa, atheism, it moves from being a movement which was against religion, but it went to start supporting men's right. Then later, around kuranda problem muri movement, and that's what I've been looking for now. Seems like I lose the information. Okay. So okay, that's about the that code. So let me read the last one, then I make a conclusion because we are out of time. So the last point I want to make is, so according to what we learned, we find that there is too much sexism in this movement. Now, there are two reasons why these people or this movement are sexism which that exists in this group, and that's the quote where when and the later will mention two things. Yeah, Yeah, so it's saying there are two prominent reasons that can explain why sexism exists in the atheism movement. So so ngamefo about that one, you can just search atheism in the new or modern and sexism in the modern atheism. So the writer will say, then I just go direct to the point. There are two predominant reasons that can explain why sexism exists in the atheist movement. The first reason is the influence of social Darwinism. Does anyone have an idea on what Darwinism if you end up? So there are two reasons why sexism in this group exists. Then one that number one is social, is a belief of social yeah, we have social Darwinism. Yes, now the question is, does anyone have an idea on this one? So this is the reason why there is sexism, lot of sexism in atheism. It's because of this last one. Then I will read a little bit, then Joseph, can you manage to summarize from the fogo Start summarize. Okay, so there are two predominant reasons that can explain why sexism exists in the atheism movement. The first reason is the influence of social Darwinism. Yeah, then they'll talk about the yes, then Philip Ketcher, professor of philosophy at Columbia University, wrote in the New York Times in 2012 that the first tenet of social Darwinism is the belief that people have intrinsic ability and talent and correspondingly intrinsic weakness, which will be expressed in their actions and achievement independently of the social, economy, and the cultural environment in which they develop. Then they'll say a concept such as men are from Mars, women are from Venus is one vision of such gender essentialistic or social Darwinism ideas. Yeah. So that's one reason. Yeah, why there is too much sexism, which means when you talk of which word is this one? Yeah. Intrinsic. This word. Intrinsic. This is in, then there is also extrinsic. Yeah, these are two different words, intrinsic and extrinsic. So this one, they are saying the way people they are the way they are made, the way they are, it's something which is in them, and those things, it's not something ichireyambaba, but it has been there for thousands of years. So that means, and this is a point where I want you to accuse or to attack women. They will say, when we say men, they are rational, they think critical. That means it is not something it should have developed right now, but it has been there for many billion of years, for many evolution which have passed. They have been there. That is their mindset. Yeah, they think critical. Yeah, I'm just summarizing based on what we have discussed last week. Yeah, they think critical. They are better. Their job is to please women. It is like that because that's how they are born. It is inbuilt. Yeah, it is inbuilt. Then women, they are like there is a quote which we read which was addressing men as well. These are irrational because they are shunned Mother Nature, something like that. Even women, they are in that state where which one we can talk of Christopher who says they are not funny. They are in that state which they are not funny. It's not because that was just given to them, but it has been there since the beginning. Yeah, since the it has been there that yeah, women, they are like that, the way they are. It's biological, in short. So they are weak, it's biological. They are strong, men, they are strong, it's biological. Yeah, it is inbuilt. It's not something we can deny or learn. Yeah. Then there are also intrinsic weaknesses. So if men, they are weak, those weaknesses, they have been there from uko fyatambile. That's why they could give those example, like if a woman got drunk, they can give those example. Woman wakorwa then wayaure nchilo wapunga muchigumba. Ite effort ya shumba. Then they'll say that's how we men, they are what? That's their nature. So the nature of men is not something they copy, but if you are pangwa, yeah, yeah. So I hope we are together. I'm just trying to summarize on this issue to do with social Darwinism. We can find time on ourselves when we study more. Then yes. Then extrinsically, I will not talk about that one, but it's something which makes someone to be of our that impact is coming from outside. Yeah, it's coming from outside. It is not something within you. Yeah. Then so Aranda Kalemba, in the atheism movement, social Darwinism has spread out as a justifiable assault of women by assault of women by aggressive men. So men, they are ugly, they are aggressive, that's their nature. Women, they have to understand them. Yeah, it's natural. That's the way they are. And they say those things is because of this ideology of Darwinism. Yeah, then the writer will continues by saying, so Allah quoting another writer, Buzafid Mark, detailed many accounts of alleged sexism, sexual assault, and okay. Okay. Let me go to the other one. Then the second explanation for why the atheism movement foments sexism can be found in what Dawkins himself said during 2001 TED Talk called militant atheism. So the second reason why there is too much atheism, we should go back and learn about the child or Richard, the way he responded to the TED Talk which they had in 2002. Instead of practicing atheism as a kind of absenteeism from religion, which is now I approach it, Dawkins, meaning Richard, presented the case for an atheism that aggressively attacks other religions. Even more tenuous is the way he accuses for a moral and organization structure on okay. So the other reason we can find it to, you have to go back this one. So I didn't manage to go through and look at this TED Talk which they had in 2001. So I'll leave to an individual that we go through and see what is the points he was trying to raise, and we'll find that those are the second reason why there is too much. There is sexism in this movement. So lastly, I'll say, in summarizing in a short term, I will say in the afternoon, I know we are late. In the afternoon, we discuss about the Trinity, and we find that this Trinity, they just believe in one thing. They all believe in freedom. At the same time, they believe in equality, but they can't allow those people needing equality to have equality because they fear immediately they do that, they will lose men, they will lose some freedom. They believe in misogyny, male supremacy, male should be on top. They are sexist. Yeah. So these are the things which are connecting these groups, and these they are on the right side, right wing. These, because of their ideology, that's why God wanted us to move us from that ground first, then nokuchitaeducate kumona the danger here alipanchendo twali, the danger of being ku right wing. Yeah, so so based on this discussion which we have looked at, we can see that for sure Protestant is not the whole problem. Yes, there is problem in Protestant, but the big problem, they are coming to these people, or some who are not even Christian. Therefore, it's important that we understand the entire right or right wing. Yeah, and I believe when we understand this side, it's also important that we understand even on the other side where we have went. And I believe there are many studies which have been conducted just focusing on the, I'll say the liberal side or the left wing. There have been studies, that's where we have been learning how we looked at in the context of feminism, we looked at the groups of feminism until God says you need to be on the radical. Then after we reach the radical, then he says, unless your righteousness exceed that of the radical, then you shall not be saved. So these are the dangers which we were in before the message of the midnight clan. So yeah. So yeah, like I said, though they may differ, men's right, the Badianism, and the atheist, they are the same. They all believe in freedom of speech. Yeah, yeah, they believe in the ethos of freedom over equality. Yeah, they fight gender equality. Yeah, they hate feminism. Then they believe in misogyny. Yeah, and yeah, we can see that they are together, then they are working in different angles. Like atheism, men's rights, their focus is to ensure that women's movement are being restricted. Yeah. Then atheists, their campaign, their crusade is to show people the badness of religion. Not only religion, also that always men are the one who think critical as compared to women. Men are always inferior, then women they are always inferior. Then the libertarianism, we can see that their focus is that they are targeting the state to change the state. Yeah, that is their go function. And in all these things they are doing, they are just ensuring that their freedom, they have the freedom of speech. And whenever they hear like a freedom, their freedom is being attacked, then they will perceive that as a problem. Then instead they will say, these people that are oppressing us, therefore they will need to do something which will make them to be protected. Like I cited the example of Protestant. After they see the Catholics, the Jews, the SDA during 1863 going forward, they made a constitution demand, and they wanted to amend the constitution so that when they read the constitution, everyone can see that the constitution saying America is a Christian nation, and to be a Christian nation, it looks like this according to their definition. So those are the things which we are seeing in this Trinity, the right wing. So that's what I can say for now on this study, but we should continue investigating more because it's too involving. There are a lot of information in these studies. Yeah, so I encourage each one that to find them, we go through by ourselves, and we find that I've left some of information. So thank you for your attendance, and your participation. Yeah, let's see if there is any thought or comment. If there is no, then we'll close with the word of prayer because an Indian star, and sorry for that. Yeah, really sorry. Joseph.
Yeah, thank you. And just a brief comment. I think understanding the major players in our dispensation, especially on the political spectrum, to help us even to other studies to know when we are learning about the seventh kingdom. Yeah, and looking at Revelation chapter 17 as current studies are going on. About the woman and the beast, if we fail to understand these concepts, yeah, like we are learning about the political spectrum, that is not just the Protestants, who are going to influence the government or the theory, the understanding of the church, like the church riding the state. Yeah, if we understand this, yeah, it will be easy for us to understand the current presentations about Liberation 17. It will really help us even in understanding the issue to do with the Sunday law. But if we don't understand this, we'll even miss and wonder about how is the Sunday law going on according to what we have studied in Ellen White and the Bible. It will be difficult for us to navigate through those studies. But if we see how God led us in this Vesper series subjects, it will really help us to go through and be able to catch up very fast with these studies. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. I believe we have gotten the points of Joe. Anyone with any thought before we pray? Okay, so yeah, we'll close with a word of prayer. Dear Lord in heaven, we count it as a blessing to allow this opportunity time to us that we have gone through this discussion to see the problem that it's not only Protestant, but it's the entire right wing. We thank God for your kindness and your mercy and the love which you have toward us. That you always you wish us to be saved and you always give us the light so that we see and understand the danger of where we are and where we are going, that we may make a right decision, that we may choose your government. We ask for your blessings to be with us, in your presence to be with us during this week which we have started. And may you help us to be revisiting the studies, all the studies which we have been doing, and understand their implications. Thank you, Lord, for this privilege which was given to me. I ask for your guidance and revival in me, that I may do my the work you have called me for. Thank you, Lord, for hearing to our prayer. This is our humble prayer in the name of our Lord and our Savior Jesus Christ. We pray. Amen.
Okay, thank you for your time. And we thank God for the blessings of the Sabbath. Yeah. May God bless you. Amen.